need a high-end designer or a lot of money to get a luxe look. Be your own interior designer.
This is Affordable Interior Design, the podcast.
Here's your host, Betsy Helmuth.
My next question comes from Ranae. Ranae is writing from Atlanta, Georgia. And Ranae writes, Betsy, my sister and I both appreciate your kitchen tips. Thanks. I feel less lost. Also, I was recently browsing your book and realized what was missing in my living room lighting situation. I switched out 2 light bulbs to brighter ones and pulled a lamp from the basement, and I feel much less grumpy in the evenings. We can finally see. Would you put a stool or bench in my little entry under the pictures, or would you put a table? My daughter leaves from school from the front door, but as a family, we come and go from the basement garage. So this entryway is mostly for guests. Our door from the basement is around the corner from an opening to the kitchen. The stairs were not in the architect's original drawings, but the builder just crammed them in. Okay, so let's see what we're working with here, Ranae. Let's dig into the pictures that you sent. So yes, this entryway does appear to be a little bit tight. It appears that when you walk in, you open the door, and to the left, immediately there's a wall. And on this wall, you've put some hooks for your daughter's backpack. Looks like there's a purse back there, etc. And then it looks like it immediately flows in to like an open living room space. So on the right-hand side, there's like a continuous wall that maybe, is only 6 feet from the open part of the door to where the living room begins. I do think on the right-hand side, with that long wall leading towards the living room, I would put something there for, say, your daughter. Now, I think what would be nice is, depending on like if she drops her backpack there or what it looks like, you may want a console with some storage that she could put it inside, or maybe her shoes inside. And that way it's quite concealed, but it still gives her that sort of launching pad, an area for her stuff, because it really bothers me. And it's really bad feng shui when you put items behind a door, because it prevents you from fully opening that door without obstruction. Even if you can technically open it, even if you have plenty of room to move inside the space, it's bad feng shui to feel like you're going to hit something. So I would remove all those hooks from behind a door. I hate hooks behind a door, especially if that door opens up to a wall where there's really no like room for something that takes up space behind it. So I'd immediately remove the hooks and rely on this console to really hold the items that she needs. Or, like have a beautiful tray or have a nice display for when guests come in. The problem with a bench, in my opinion, unless it's a storage bench, is that she's not going to have a place to put her stuff that's not exposed. I don't really want to see a backpack on a bench when I walk in. And a bench can become easily a dumping ground if it is a place where she's going in and out of every day. If it was exclusively for guests, I think a bench would be really nice because it's going to stay very minimal and very clean, and because it gives them a great spot to take off their shoes, to put their shoes back on, etc. But otherwise, I feel like the bench may not be as practical because she is using this door. So that's my 2 cents, Ranae. A big thank you to Aton and the Embassy, who wrote our theme song. A shout out to Catherine Heller, who owns the podcast shop and is our editor extraordinaire. We also want to thank Ginny Sunasan and her team at the Savvy Podcast Agency for their help with our social, our YouTube channel, and so much more. We also want to thank Uploft, which is our parent company who supports this podcast. And lastly, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to you. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all your support.